Canadian divas Jyoti and Kiran Matharoo had their eyes set on a luxurious lifestyle. They wanted it all: shoes, makeup, jewelry, private jets, and soon all their wishes would come true. When Kiran turned 21, she met a Nigerian businessman while working at her job. They got into a relationship, and shortly after, he introduced Jyoti to his friend. It turned out that his friend was a Nigerian petroleum tycoon and wanted to fly her and her sister out to Nigeria with him. While their relationship blossomed, the sisters had the experience of flying on a private jet to Greece, France, and finally Nigeria, where his drivers took them to a mansion. While Kiran relaxed by the pool, Jyoti was given all sorts of expensive gifts, including a $10,000 monthly check. Jyoti's boyfriend even bought her an expensive condo in Toronto. But once they had a taste for luxury, the hunger would grow, and this was only the beginning for the Matharoo sisters. Jyoti and Kiran have never been the types to care about what others think of them. They were born into a middle-class Indian family who migrated to Canada. Living in Toronto, their life was overall normal. While Jyoti was romantic and passionate about literature, Kiran was level-headed and excelled in math and science. The two were inseparable and always dressed up to go to school. After high school, the sisters applied to a 2-year fashion, art, and business program while working part-time jobs, sharing clothes and a car, and working to bring their fashion brand to life. At night, they spent their time at clubs, wanting to live a life inspired by Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. At this point, they had planned on eventually finding love, having a big Indian wedding, and settling in Toronto. Then, Jyoti met her Nigerian executive boyfriend, who swept both sisters off their feet and into Nigeria. The sisters claimed it all happened so fast that there wasn't even a moment to question if everything was real. From there, they continued going to Nigeria to meet future wealthy boyfriends. "Once they find out you have a sister, it's over," said Kiran, talking about how easy it was to find men who would lavish them with riches. Taking a look at their Instagrams, their lifestyle is the definition of luxury. Brands such as Bottega Veneta, Gucci, Prada, and many more fill their closets along with accessories. They also have pictures wearing all their expensive items in their Rolls-Royce driving through the streets of Dubai. They ended up with so many things that they eventually converted their Toronto condo into a walk-in closet that resembled a high-fashion boutique. There were walls lined with over 70 pairs of designer heels and glass wardrobes filled with bags and purses. They had custom rose gold jewelry and diamond watches easily worth more than a car. And did they use their own money to buy it all? No, not at all. "The only time I go shopping is when someone gives me their credit card," said Kiran, meaning these two were essentially sugar babies documenting their lives on social media. By now, they have about 80,000 followers collectively who mostly praise them for the lifestyle they live. The similarities between them and the Kardashian-Jenner family make it no surprise that the media gave these two the nickname the Canadian Kardashians. The two sisters quickly grew accustomed to their new life. Once you live with money, it's hard to go back to a life without it. And with how things were going, they would never have to. They put their dreams of a fashion brand on hold to make time for the men willing to provide for them. They even had expectations for the men they dated. They were attracted to the power, wealthy men in Nigeria and their position on the Forbes Billionaire list. It didn't matter if these men had wives or children either. The tabloids loved the Canadian Kardashian sisters and claimed they were the most provocative women in Nigeria. But even provocative women have standards. These rich men would have to spoil them and fund their expensive tastes in life if they wanted to date them. It seemed like the perfect life for someone who wanted to be a sugar baby. It wasn't until their last trip to Nigeria that things took a turn for the worst. Both sisters woke up one morning, and after having a shower, they heard a loud knocking on their hotel room door. A group of men barged in, demanding that the two go to the police station for questioning. Confused and frightened, the sisters refused to go with them. You can still find the photos taken of them in their bathrobes online. Plainclothes police officers took these photos. Nothing was provided when the sisters asked them to provide proof of identification. Instead, the officers claimed that they would take them in their bathrobes if the two of them did not get dressed. In the end, they were forced to comply and taken to the station with the fear that they were being kidnapped. When they got to the police station, officers accused them of owning a popular gossip blog called Nigerian Live. This site is known to spread scandalous rumors about Nigerian elites and accused the sisters of prostitution. Kiran and Jyoti denied being the owners, but the police did not believe them. From here, the officers drove them to another police station belonging to the anti-robbery squad. According to a 2016 Amnesty report, this station was known for its corruption and use of torture to extract confessions. When the two arrived, they claimed to be put into a dimly lit room while an officer demanded they sign a confession to owning the gossip site. Nigerian Live was written in Nigerian Pidgin, a language neither girl spoke. When the girls refused to sign the confession, they were forced to a cell. 11 other girls stayed overnight. The following day, they were taken to a hotel room near the airport and guarded for 18 days. They found out they were accused of threatening to kidnap and blackmail wealthy Nigerian elites, including the politically powerful oil tycoon Femi Otedola. Femi Otedola was the controlling shareholder of Forte Oil. In Nigeria, they have over 500 gas stations as well as a gas-fired power plant. In 2015, he was number 16 on Forbes' 50 richest Africans list. He was also Kiran's ex-boyfriend. The sisters claim that Otedola was angry because they rejected his advances to rekindle their relationship. Otedola then filed a request for police to find whoever owns Nigerian Live, claiming they were using nude pictures to blackmail elites. Their suspects? The Canadian Kardashian sisters. While the sisters were in detention, officers brought them to Otedola's home, where, according to Jyoti and Kiran, he supposedly forced them to record a video confessing to owning the website and apologizing to him and his family. He promised that if they recorded the video, he would provide them with their passports and let them leave for Canada. After recording the video, it was uploaded to the internet, and the girls were still not given their passports back. During this time, the gossip site's Twitter was posting even though the officers confiscated the sisters' electronics. The owner even eventually took down the site in order to prove that the Matharoo sisters weren't the owners. After posting bail and waiting for weeks in their room, the sisters were finally allowed to travel back to Canada with emergency travel documents claiming that their bail didn't restrict travel and that their physical safety was at risk. While back in Toronto, the two sisters stayed off of social media with hopes that the whole fiasco would die down. The media exploded with unofficial facts about the sisters, being, let's just call them ladies of the night, as well as calling them gold diggers and scammers. After seeing their names get raked through the mud, they decided they'd had it, and it was time to fight back and clear their names. They posted all of their evidence along with their side of the story on their lifestyle blog, Metropolitan. They contacted City News to give a 30-minute interview discussing what they went through and their feelings toward the media. They claimed that none of the news media had reached out to get their side of the story, so Jyoti and Kiran reached out to them, threatening to sue if the companies didn't print retractions. Jyoti and Kiran knew that many backlashes came from society's tendency to frown on a woman who allows herself to be single while being lavished by men. People hated them simply because they didn't like how they lived, but the sisters didn't care what the consequences were as long as they could clear their names. And just when they thought they were in the clear, Jyoti was told by Canadian customs officials that she couldn't travel to the United States due to an arrest warrant on her passport. Meanwhile, her sister Kiran was traveling to Italy to do some furniture shopping. While waiting for her luggage, Italian customs officials locked Kiran in a room without food, water, or explanation. After 8 hours, officers finally told her that she had a flag on her passport from Interpol and that she was being placed under provisional arrest. Police officials held her for 40 days, waiting to be deported to Nigeria, but the paperwork never came. Kiran was allowed to travel back to Canada. Philip Adebowale, the Nigerian police officer who initially detained the sisters, was the one who issued the warrant for their arrest. He claimed he didn't conspire with Otedola or demand bribes, as the sisters had mentioned. When asked why they didn't send the extradition paperwork for Kiran, he blamed it on the Italian police and bureaucratic errors. When Kiran returned to Canada, the two sisters pleaded with Interpol to remove their names from the red alert list so they would be allowed to travel again. Everyone knew this to be impossible without a lawyer, but the sisters felt they could accomplish it. While waiting for Interpol, the sisters decided to let their Instagrams flourish with photos of them wearing designer items. During this time, an American man who was a follower of Jyoti reached out, asking if she would like to start a fashion company. He lived in Dubai, but since the women weren't allowed to travel, he was willing to come to them. After months of waiting and fighting, Interpol sent them a package containing a letter letting them know that Interpol had deleted their names from the list. This meant they were free to travel again and had done so without a lawyer. The American man, who they have decided to keep unnamed, booked a flight for Jyoti to come to Dubai. After a stressful and sleepless flight, she was delighted that nobody was waiting to arrest her at the airport. What started as a business meeting quickly blossomed into a romance. Again, Jyoti found herself being taken care of by a wealthy man. One night, Jyoti wore an orange dress created by Kiran. This dress mesmerized the man, who encouraged them to move to Los Angeles to start their fashion career. After all the scandals, the sisters now had the ability to realize their dream of creating a fashion brand. Now, the sisters own a clothing store called Spectrum Studio, where they sell the clothes that Kiran makes. When advising others going through a public scandal, they remind people to be the one who tells the story, be transparent that nobody is perfect, and when people ask questions, answer them. They have learned from their experience and no longer mess around with Nigerian princes. In a wild turn of events, they have turned a scandalous story into a successful business, genuinely living up to the Kardashian name. Click to watch one of these next videos. Let us know in the comments section what you think about a sugar daddy / sugar mama and sugar baby relationships.